a fine young lady on top of broom passing through her window. I say, hey, Jesus. Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite girl, Dinah Ekweme, in the building, and yes, it is episode 5 of our vlogmas. We are going strong. Although we haven't been overly consistent, we are actually doing well. Anyway, today I have something to talk to you guys about. As you all know, as most of you know, as some of you didn't know, I did my training, my medical laboratory training for foreign graduates in Benin City. I was posted in Benin City, and I was there since March up until last month. And yes, it was a wonderful experience. However, I have something to address, which by the title you already know what it is. Edo witches. Yes, we need to talk about that. We need to talk, we need to talk. Anyway, yes, let me start. If I don't talk about my posting, I moved my lighting. I think when I come close, I look very beautiful. Queen Larifa. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. Anyway, I need to start telling my story from when I got my shocking posting letter up until the time I left Benin City. So as you all know, if you've been following this vlog for quite a while, it took a while for me to get my posting letter. It took at least, I think, 3 months from November ending up until March for me to get my posting letter. When I got back to Nigeria, I had to undergo a training that will enable me get a license to practice here in Nigeria, and that training was what I went to Benin City to do. And the posting letter was just a letter saying, oh, you've been posted to Benin City for your program. And yeah, the rest was history. Anyway, yeah, I quit my job. I was waiting for a while at home for this posting letter to come, for the almighty posting letter to come. The next minute, bang, 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 brum, bang. They sent it to my email, and I read the first few lines. I was getting excited. The thing here is that foreign graduates are only posted in 3 university teaching hospitals here in Nigeria, and that's Ibadan, Jos, and Benin. And I was praying so much to get Jos, because I heard a lot of stories about just being cold, being quiet. Let's not talk about the crisis, but it's a really conducive place for you to live, especially if you're coming from the abroad and you don't want to just switch weather like that. It's a nice place to stay as it's cold. So I was praying to get Jos. The next minute I saw Benin City, I said, yay. I was like, in my mind, I was like, that was the last place I thought they would give me. I was like, if it's not Jos, maybe they'll give me Ibadan. If they give me Ibadan, I still wouldn't mind. So I was like, Benin City is really out of the equation. No one in my house has ever talked about Benin City. I don't know anyone literally living in Benin City. How would I even start this journey? Like, how? I started calling my friends. I started calling literally every single soul that I knew. I broke the news first to my parents, letting them know that this is what I've been posted. My dad was like, do you know anyone in Benin City? I was like, nope. My mom was like, I have heard so many stories about Benin City. You need to start praying, this, that. I'm like, okay, let me call my friends and find that. I started calling different people, and nobody was giving me anything positive. Everyone was like, oh, witches, oh, wizards, oh, the amount of prostitution. People were saying just horrible things about Benin City. So I got scared. That's why I call one person, person can redirect me to person where don't go University of Benin, gone. The person started giving me stories. That's why the person gave me story that she was sleeping one night. After her prayer, she said let her lie down on her bed and just close her eyes. And so she just see one on top of broom. A fine young lady on top of broom, passing through her window. I say, hey, Jesus. This posting letter, can they revert its place? I cannot. Like, how is it that not one single soul is telling me, oh, Benin City is really nice, or Benin City is this? Nobody, like literally. If I asked 80 people, 80 of them told me that Benin City was a horrible place, filled with a lot of sorcery, witchcraft, this, that, just almost the prayer warrior in me started coming out. I said I must fast even if it's for 2 hours. Me when like food. I said I fasted for 2 hours. I said, huh? You want to carry me to Bia? Ha! I don't even want to experience it. I don't want to see. I don't want to experience. Please. I started firing prayers. I said I was so scared. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to go during that time. Let me say that, yeah, they told us to calm down. I think it was on the 26th of March. I was there like a week before so I can secure a place. Just, you know, settle down. Fam, my hands were on my chest as I entered Benin City. As in, I was so mindful. Do you know what? If someone can even say hello to me, I'll just be like, what does that hello mean? This is why everybody has warned me. I better be careful. So yeah, it was just... The first week was horrible because of the sunlight. The sunlight in Benin, the heat there is nothing compared to where I was coming from, the east. It was just not the same. That one was just harsh. Probably it's the heat that people are talking about that is the source. Fast forward to 7 months, 10 months later. I've been at 9 months later. From March to November. I can comfortably and happily say that Benin City has been one of the best cities I've ever lived in Nigeria. You can choose your own city and talk your own. Don't just come and argue with me because I have reasons and I have receipts and I have everything to tell you in this video why Benin City has been one of the best cities I've ever lived in, even better than my hometown, Aba, Abia State. I have a lot of reasons. Do you want me to start? I actually sat down to analyze a lot of stuff. Maybe the reason why a lot of people say Benin City or Edo State in general is full of witches, it's full of wizards, it's full of all this fetish, sorcery, whatnot, is because of the fact that even a child in Benin City, this is from my own personal experience, even a child in Benin City knows little history about their state. They are so proud. Imagine me entering a lab, like a lab, you see youths, you see active people of, you know, not more than 30, 40. They are proper working. And you just mentioned probably a marketplace, Oba Market. Like the time I told a colleague of mine that I was going to Oba Market to film. The way this girl broke down the history of Oba Market, I was like, Auntie, did you do history? Go to every corner of Benin City. There is no place you don't see at least a small statue, a small something that will represent something. That is something that a lot of Nigerian states have eradicated in the name of modernization. That is one uniqueness about Benin City that keeps them in tune with their culture, and I feel like a lot of states should actually embrace that. Maybe that is the reason why an average Nigerian will call a Benin person or an Edo State indigene a witch or a wizard, or they just are likely to connect the person to witches or whatnot. It has gotten to the extent where any comment on social media, even these same youths that should be renouncing all this and should be even arguing that no, they are not, they are now encouraging, they are even accepting the fact that they fly at night. They are not accepting the fact that if you mess with them, they'll come and deal with you, that they are witches, they are wizards, you know who they are. No, don't accept it. Don't accept it, because you hold on to your cultural heritage doesn't make you a witch. Those are the things that people from outside pay to have. Do you know that most of you guys' stuff, most of the artifacts, most of these little things that have high cultural value are all in Obodo Yibo's museum, just lying around? People are paying, people are going free to go and see it, but you're here renouncing it, you're here calling people witches and wizards for holding on to that stuff. It was only in Benin City that a child would tell me history of, I don't care if it's true or not, the way they passionately talk about their history, the Oba, the tradition, things that have happened way before, the way it's so fresh. Even going around the city reminds you of things like that. Statues, you see them every single place. Things that I wish that was in Aba. Things that, okay, there is no part of Aba, Abia State that I can go to and see maybe a statue that will remind me of something. Or in one corner, they'll leave one thing, maybe like Ariaria Market, they'll leave one thing that has been there since the beginning of Ariaria to tell me that this is what happened, this is why we established this market, this is why this market is popular, this is who did this, who did that. A typical Benin person knows culture. A typical Benin person has stories, imbibed in them that they are willing to spill out, even if unknowingly they just tell you, oh, this is what my parents told me, this is what my grandparents taught me, this is what they said about our culture, or that thing when 10 years ago, 100 years ago, if you touched it, you would disappear. It may sound funny to you as an outsider, but to me, I found it really, really fascinating. These things are not just what they just make up. These things are, if you ask one person and ask another person, they are most likely to say the same thing, the same story. Going to Benin City made me let me tell you the reason why I said becoming so drawn to Igbo culture, that I really wanted to read about it, I really wanted to learn about it, was because of staying in Benin. The way people unknowingly, they may not even show that they are embracing their culture, but unknowingly they do it. It's like imbibed in them, but they don't know. The way they talk, the way they say things, the way the people around there carry themselves. Say whatever you want to say, they believe those stories. If you don't want to believe them, if you feel like they are too fetish for you, or it can't happen, how can somebody be fighting one and then disappear? How can white people come and fight and then this? Believe me or not, all of them there, they hold on to that thing, and that's one thing that a lot of Nigerian cities are lacking. They've become so westernized that they have lost that uniqueness that makes them a particular, I don't know how to put it, but Benin City, just the sense, the vibe I got around there was so different that I was wondering why a lot of people in diaspora just bash that city. Like, why do you guys come on my video to type nonsense? Like, a few people, not everyone of course. Believe me, if you're from Benin City, if you're from Edo State, you should be so proud of your culture. You should be proud of your heritage. You should be proud of that history that till today are still being talked about. How many states still have their king's palace being talked about, being glorified? Like, people still adore, people still, like, the respect, yeah, they pay. Like, you don't just talk about certain things just like that and feel like you're just, who are you? Even if you're a tourist, you don't just talk about things and just feel like, oh, you can go to a state and just be carefree about words, about someone's culture. It was in Benin City that I learned that there is something called preservation of culture in this Nigeria. I know a lot of tribes are trying. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, a lot of tribes are trying, but we need to start upholding things, because people that are in diaspora, those are the things that they find really fascinating. You may not appreciate it here as Nigerian, you may call it whatever, witches, wizard, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, I'm not talking about the unbelievable ones, the one that they talk about cats and rats and snakes and whatever. I'm talking about cultural values. I'm talking about things that are sculpted, things that you have on bronze. There is a street called Igun Street in Benin City. You need to go there. You need to be there. You need to be there to see things for yourself, to feel that vibe, yeah, of, you know, bronze casters telling you stories about stuff. And I know I'm not passionate enough talking about this on camera, but yeah, Benin City gave me one hell of a vibe that made me appreciate my own culture, that made me look back and say, you know what, now I see why people regard these people as Edo witches or whatnot. Now I see why people call these people what they call them, because some people don't understand what they don't know. Like, they target what they feel like because they don't understand it. But go to Benin City, go to Edo State, feel what you can feel, and then make your own judgment. Don't go online and start talking blah 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 about a culture, about a tribe. It is just senseless in this particular time and age. Okay, anyway, I didn't mean to rant in this video. I just wanted to put this point across and inform people who are misinformed, educate people who are just ignorant of things like this. Before you bash something, you need to understand that thing. Before you mock something, you need to be there to know how things are actually going before you say, oh, this is rubbish, people like this are like this, they are witches, they fly at night. That's just, you don't know how you sound typing that thing or even saying it with your mouth. All right, anyway, if you enjoyed this segment of my vlogmas, let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe as usual. It's your favorite girl signing out. Bye.